I recently cruised to Alaska on Ruby Princess, which is an older ship with a very traditional, some would say dated vibe. But unlike newer ships, almost every square inch of the amenities on the upper decks is available to everyone, which means you have your pick of a whopping 5 pools, including 2 in a cool resort complex at the back of the ship. But there are no indoor pools, which was unfortunate considering it was very cold and rainy for most of our time in Alaska. Our crew stopped in Glacier Bay National Park, which was very well organized and coordinated with the park's rangers, who boarded the ship and hosted several events and activities. My experience on Ruby was the opposite of my last cruise to Alaska on Princess, which was a comedy of many errors. Stay tuned for a full tour and review of Ruby Princess to Alaska. Hey cruisers, Andrew from Ottawa, Canada here. Welcome to The Chill Cruiser, where I review cruise ships from a chill perspective. Today I'm going to review my 7-day cruise to Alaska on Ruby Princess this past summer. This was my first time cruising with my mom, and my second time cruising with Princess to Alaska, after my first attempt on Majestic Princess did not go well. On that cruise, embarkation in Vancouver was a 3-hour nightmare because the ship was late. There were long waits to do anything on board, and even longer waits to get on and off the ship at ports throughout the cruise. And the ship felt like a sleepy retirement home at night. Princess markets themselves as the best cruise line in Alaska, so I thought I would give them another chance. I was happy to see a complete flip of my Majestic experience on Ruby. Embarkation was smooth, there were minimal waits on the ship and at ports, and there was a lot of fun and energy throughout the ship at night. I was even pleased to see that Princess had learned from its mistakes on Majestic and significantly improved pre-cruise communication. Majestic was 5 hours late on embarkation day, and we received 0 notifications from Princess, which caused total chaos at the port terminal and meant waits of up to 5 hours or more to board. With Ruby, the ship was going to have to leave an hour later than planned, and we received an alert several days before. On Majestic, they canceled the scenic cruising day to a glacier because of a medical emergency and made 0 effort to try and help guests even see photos of what they missed, let alone try to reschedule the glacier stop. On Ruby, our itinerary included a full day in Glacier Bay National Park that was very well organized, with communications before and during the visit, in the cabin, and throughout the ship on the various events and glacier stops. Before I dive into my review, let's take a look at Ruby Princess at a glance. She's 15 years old with 19 decks and has a capacity of close to 3,100 passengers at double capacity. Ruby is technically a Crown class ship, but looks and feels very similar to Grand class ships like Caribbean Princess. Ruby has 6 restaurants, 3 are included main dining rooms. There's a casual restaurant serving pub food that's included in the Plus and Premier package, and there are 2 specialty restaurants focused on steak and Italian that are included in the Premier package. There are 2 cafes, one with a great selection of sandwiches and desserts on the main floor of the piazza, and the other serving ice cream on the Lido deck. Food is included for all guests, and coffee drinks are included in both the Plus and Premier packages. There are 10 bars throughout the ship, including one focused on craft cocktails and another on wine. The Plus package covers drinks up to $15 a glass, and Premier covers up to $20 a glass. If you want to order a drink that exceeds either package's limit, you can just pay the difference. There are 5 outdoor pools, 1 for adults only, and 7 outdoor hot tubs, 2 of those located in the adults only area. There are no indoor pools or hot tubs, which I'll cover later. There is an updated thermal suite available for an extra fee with steam rooms, heated loungers, and a sauna. Note that the sauna and steam rooms that used to be available to everyone were removed in a recent update. There's also a premium outdoor sun deck available for an extra fee. Ruby features one of Princess's largest and roomiest casinos, which takes up the entire width of the ship and is 50% smoking. I'll review my experience on Ruby in terms of categories like food, cabins, and entertainment, starting with access. After very poor experiences at the Port of Vancouver on 2 previous cruises, I was hesitant to cruise out of there again, but my mom really wanted to see Vancouver, so we gave it another go. Mom really enjoyed Vancouver, including the beautiful Capilano Suspension Bridge Park, which I got to see in sunny weather for the first time. Luck was on our side this time at the port since we were the only ship embarking that day. Check-in and luggage drop-off was in a convention hall connected to the terminal, and you just had to go down an escalator to go through security and customs, which took about 20 minutes. We checked in early to try and avoid crowds, so we'd gone through all the check-in hurdles before they had started boarding. I was pleasantly surprised to see that they were asking elite members to go to a separate area where they had coffee, tea, and snacks. After waiting only a few minutes, we were the first group to board. As with Princess's other older ships, getting around the ship was fairly easy, but there were often long waits to get an elevator. Getting on and off the ship at our ports in Alaska was also very smooth, with none of the waits I had experienced on Majestic. In Juneau, we also had a prime docking location right in town, unlike on Majestic, where we were docked in the furthest berth about a mile from the city center. The website What's in Port has helpful pages for each cruise port that link to a ship schedule so you can find out how many ships will be calling that day, but it doesn't provide the berth location. The only site I found that tells you where the ship will be docked is the traveljuneau.com site, which unfortunately hasn't posted the 2025 schedule yet. In Juneau, berths E and D are the prime locations right downtown, with B a few blocks away and A, the one I mentioned, that's a mile away. Overall, I'd rate access 4 out of 5 stars. The vibe of the ship feels very traditional, kind of like stepping back in time to a nice nautical-themed hotel in the 40s or 50s on the lower decks, with a slightly more modern resort vibe on the upper decks. My mom and I enjoyed the atmosphere, but if you prefer modern decor, you'll likely feel the interior of the ship is too dated. Although the rooms were recently refreshed with new carpets and TVs, I think they could have done more. I'll get to that in a moment. The layout is fairly straightforward, but as with other Princess ships, there are a few dead ends you need to get used to, and you can only access one of the dining rooms from the aft elevator or stairwell. And if you land on that floor but want to go to other parts of the deck, you need to go up a deck, cross, and then go back down. Overall, I'd rate vibe 3.5 out of 5 stars. Let's talk about Ruby's cabins, which are functional but dated. The TVs and carpets were replaced in a recent dry dock, but everything else in the room seems original, including the drapes and the wall cladding. We were in a regular balcony room with very comfortable plush beds and a great selection of complimentary movies and TV shows on demand. Like most Princess ships, there was no couch or sitting area that's usually standard in a balcony room on most cruise lines. On Princess, couches are only included in the deluxe balcony category, except in the new Sphere class. The balcony was a nice size and each chair had a footrest, which was a nice touch. We had booked a cabin on Riviera deck, which is immediately below the public areas of the Lido deck. That was a big mistake because you could hear screeching deck chairs every day starting around 5 a.m. Guest services ended up moving us to a premium balcony on a lower deck, where the cabin was the same size, but the balcony was 2 to 3 times deeper. The bathroom was a good size with the infamous Princess shower curtain. The shower includes body wash and conditioning shampoo, and there's also hand soap and lotion by the sink. Hit subscribe and watch out for a full cabin tour. Overall, I'd rate cabins 3.5 out of 5 stars. Moving on to food. Room service is usually a highlight on Princess ships, but on Ruby, they fell down a little. The only coffee cream they had on the entire ship was whipped cream, which took my mom a few days to get used to. After a busy day of exploring the different observation areas of the ship while we were in Glacier Bay National Park, we relaxed in our room and ordered room service, but it never came after an hour and a half, where on other Princess ships it's usually very fast. Note that there's a $5 fee for each room service order and a $15 activation fee if you order through the app. Both of these fees are waived if you have the Plus or Premier package. If you order breakfast using the room service card, there's no fee. But there are a lot of free fast food options available throughout the ship, including the loyal Princess Cruiser favorite, the International Cafe, which offers a great selection of sandwiches, soups, salads, and desserts 24 hours a day. There are also kiosks with pizza and burgers on the Lido deck. They serve pub food in the Wheelhouse Bar most evenings, which is included if you have the Plus or Premier package. The buffet offers a good assortment of options with some theme stations like Asian soups, but it has a poor layout. It's split into 2 sections and sometimes only one is open. And they don't have signs telling you which one. So if you go into the one that's closed, you have to exit at either end and go into a separate entrance. When only one side was open, the food stations did feel very crowded. Ruby has 3 main dining rooms scattered throughout decks 5 and 6 that serve the same menu. Aside from very stale chicken tacos on one lunch, Mom and I really enjoyed the food and the service, including lunch and embarkation day. Princess is one of the few cruise lines that offers a main dining room lunch on embarkation day to all guests. We tried both specialty restaurants, Crown Grill, which is a steakhouse, and Sabatini's, which offers an Italian menu. You can dine at both as many times as you like with the updated Premier package. In Crown Grill, the food was excellent, but the service was very rushed. At Sabatini's, the service was excellent, but the food was disappointing. Both restaurants seemed understaffed, which was a shame. We were on one of the last sailings before they implemented the updated Premier package and wondered how the ship could accommodate increased demand from people who could make unlimited specialty restaurant reservations. You can find most restaurant menus on my blog at thechillcruiser.blog. Overall, I would rate food 4 out of 5 stars. Moving on to drinks, Ruby has a nice variety of bars and lounges throughout the ship with very friendly bartenders. We visited crooners on Deck 6 almost every day because of the amazing bartenders and to hear the music from the piano entertainer or from the party band performing one floor below. Like most Princess ships, there's a good selection of beer and liquor available and an okay wine list. If you like wine, you should definitely check out Vines on Deck 5, which offers the best selection on the ship, many of which are included in the Premier package. The only time I was a little disappointed with the ship's bars was on embarkation day when they didn't seem prepared for the sail away rush and there were long lineups. Most Princess bars get bogged down with orders for margaritas and daiquiris at peak times because they don't have kiosks for easy to serve drinks like beer and wine, like other cruise lines. I'll rate drinks 4 out of 5 stars. Moving on to amenities, which are a strength and a bit of a weakness as well. On the one hand, there are a whopping 5 outdoor pools at the front, middle, and back of the ship, including one that's for adults only. There are 7 outdoor hot tubs. I love that the middle pools are separated, so if you don't like the movie or concert they're playing on the big screen, you have another option. I also love the aft resort complex with a pool and several amenities surrounding it amphitheater style, including 2 bars, a large hot tub, and another smaller pool, all of which offer amazing lake views. Unfortunately, there are no indoor pools, so on those many cold and rainy days in Alaska, there wasn't really a pool option. Princess's famous sanctuary is at the very front of the ship, which is a nice quiet adults-only area to relax and be pampered with amazing service, meals, and afternoon tea. This is not to be confused with the Sanctuary Club on Sphere-class ships that's available only to guests with a Sanctuary Collection cabin. Princess is supposed to eventually roll this concept across the fleet, which I think would be a real shame because I really love the original Sanctuary model. You can reserve a lounge or cabana for a half or full day, which is a highly recommended experience if the weather is cooperating. Princess unfortunately removed the steam rooms and saunas in the gym change rooms, which used to be available for free to everyone. They replaced them with an expanded thermal suite available for an extra fee that offers heated loungers, a steam room, sauna, and rain showers. Note that there is no hydrotherapy pool, like on Royal or Sphere-class ships. Rounding out the upper decks is a nice-sized gym, a sports court, and small areas for mini golf and shuffleboard. There are several great amenities on the lower decks as well, including a full walk-around promenade, a nice library, and a business center. I would rate amenities 4 out of 5 stars, not a perfect 5 only because there's no indoor pool. Moving on to entertainment, which was impressive. There was a lively party band performing in the piazza every night, as well as the piano entertainer and a jazz band. There were 3 production shows that appealed to a variety of audiences, including a show my mom really enjoyed that featured music from the 40s and 50s. They also had some great guest entertainers, including Trina Johnson, who did a fantastic tribute to Whitney Houston. Overall, I'd rate entertainment 4 out of 5 stars. Ruby featured a solid activities lineup as well, with fun music trivia every night. I'm not usually a trivia person, but my mom and I walked by it every night on our way to dinner, and we usually stopped to watch for a while because it was so fun. Speaking of music, there was a fun 80s night party on the piazza that got a lot of people dancing. They also hosted several lectures, including this one on the history of Alaska. Where Ruby's activities really shined was when we were in the beautiful Glacier Bay National Park. We didn't just sail by a few glaciers, we were boarded by several park rangers early in the morning, and they were everywhere on the ship throughout the day, sharing commentary over the PA speakers, walking around the Lido deck, and hosting enrichment sessions in the theater. We received a map and guide the night before, and screens throughout the ship had guides to the various events happening throughout the day. At the Margaret Glacier, the ship rotated several times so everyone could get a great view, regardless of their location on the ship. The ship also had stations throughout the ship with drinks, hot chocolate, and warm clothes for sale. A lot of the public areas were crowded, but we found some quiet places to relax. And discovered a great hidden viewing platform above the bridge. I would definitely recommend picking an Alaskan itinerary that includes Glacier Bay. A staple on every Princess ship's visit to Alaska is puppies in the piazza, where you can see some adorable sled dog puppies in the piazza. On my last Princess cruise in Alaska, you could hold the puppies, but on Ruby, you could only look at them. You can find the daily program for every day of the cruise on my blog. I'll rate Activities 5 out of 5 stars. Let's talk about the technology on the ship. Princess's medallion system makes it easy to get in and out of your cabin and do pretty much everything on the ship. Their app is a bit clunky and hard to navigate sometimes, but it does let you do a lot, including ordering food and drinks to be delivered wherever you are on the ship, booking shore excursions, viewing restaurant menus, and the daily activities lineup. One thing they don't list in the app is venue hours, which would be helpful. Internet speed was good every day, which was impressive considering how remote we were sometimes in Alaska. I'll rate technology 4 out of 5 stars. Let's talk about the casino, which was impressive for an older ship. It felt like the biggest casino in the Princess fleet since it takes up the entire width of the ship. I liked how the smoking and non-smoking areas were separated by the tables and the casino bar, which was nice to see since Princess has eliminated the casino bar on newer ships. There's a good selection of slots including Dragon Link and my favorite, Firelink. Even though the core was a bit dated, this was definitely one of my favorite casinos on a cruise ship. I would rate Ruby's casino 5 stars out of 5. Overall service was excellent throughout the ship, from guest services to bars, restaurants, and our stateroom attendant. Every crew member we interacted with was very friendly and had a smile despite their grueling schedule, so I would definitely rate service 5 out of 5 stars. Mom and I really enjoyed our cruise and would recommend Ruby to pretty much everyone who appreciates the traditional vibe and doesn't mind that there isn't an indoor pool. If you'd like more information about the ports we visited in Alaska and the excursions we experienced, including the fantastic White Pass Railway, you can check out this video I posted while we were on the ship. Thank you for watching, and happy cruising.